Welcome to Net Automate. This is a free course that will teach you everything you need to know to pass the Cisco DevNet Associate exam. We will go over each and every item in the exam blueprint, and we will have hands-on labs after almost every topic. We will also have quizzes at the end of each video in the series to test your knowledge and prepare you for the actual exam. Since this is the first video in the series, I would like to briefly introduce myself. My name is Omar Shavad, and I'm a Cisco certified DevNet expert. I currently work for a service provider, and I work with Cisco platforms on a daily basis. My work is mainly on network programmability and automation. I have been teaching software development and networking for about 7 years now, so I like to think that I have decent experience in that. Each video will start by showing which topics of the blueprint will be covered. Since this is an introduction, we won't be diving deep into any topics, but we will be discussing section 3.7 of the blueprint, which is identifying DevNet resources like Sandbox, Code Exchange, and Learning Labs. One of the first things that we should address is what is DevNet and why should you care about it? DevNet, or Net DevOps, combines software development with networking. Chances are you probably already have a decent background in networking. You may already have a CCNA, a CCNP, and some of you may even be CCIEs. Now, if you don't have a good background in networking, that's okay too, because we will be covering that as well. Actually, 15% of this exam is on network fundamentals, so we have to cover that anyway. Regardless of how well you understand networking, I think that combining that with software development gives you a huge advantage. Networks nowadays are larger and more complex. Manually managing these networks is impractical and simply not scalable. Imagine maintaining a network of thousands of switches and routers. Even the simplest of tasks can become time-consuming, and it is very common for humans to make mistakes when they perform the same task over and over again. This is why we need to learn new skills to design, maintain, and secure our network. Unfortunately, the job market demand for the traditional network engineer is not what it used to be. Network engineers nowadays are expected to not just know routing and switching, but also understand how applications function, how to secure them, and how to automate basic processes. Network automation skills are especially in high demand today. In my opinion, Cisco has done a fantastic job with their DevNet program. What sets this certificate apart is that a lot of what you will be learning here is not vendor specific. And in some cases, it can even be applied to non-networking related domains. For example, a big focus of this exam is on REST APIs. REST APIs are used everywhere nowadays to integrate different systems with each other, not just in the field of networking. Lastly, I think it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy the topics that we will discuss, and I think that you'll find them interesting as well. Okay, so let's go on to the resources. There are a number of resources that will help us prepare for this exam. One of these is the Cisco DevNet Sandbox. Sandboxes offer a free resource that provides users with cloud-based environments that allow users to explore, develop, and test Cisco platforms. This is an incredible resource if you don't have your own lab and just want to test basic features. You can, for example, use the Cisco IOS XE router sandbox to test an automation script that adds static routes for a router. These sandboxes come in two flavors: reservable sandboxes and always-on sandboxes. The always-on sandboxes, as the name suggests, can be used at any time. The reservable sandboxes require a reservation, but they offer more options and more features when it comes to configuration. So that's resource number one. The second resource is the DevNet Learning Labs. The Learning Labs are interactive hands-on tutorials that can help network engineers learn about different Cisco platforms APIs, and network programmability concepts. On Cisco's website, you will find learning labs on Python, ACI, Cisco NSO, Docker, and many other DevNet related technologies. The third resource we will discuss is DevNet Code Exchange. Code Exchange is a platform that serves as a repository for community contributed code, scripts, as well as other DevNet or developer resources. The DevNet community contributes code snippets to Code Exchange, which you can then look up and use. Here are some examples of resources you can find. Python scripts for reading data from an iOS XE device, for example, to read a routing table from an iOS XE device. Ansible playbooks to automate the configuration of Nexus switches, for example, creating VLANs on Nexus switches. And lastly, Yang data models. If you don't know what Yang data models are, that's okay. We will discuss that in depth once we reach that point. The last resource we will discuss is DevNet Developer Support. Developer support is a resource that can help network developers overcome technical challenges. On Cisco's website, you'll find different levels of support, like knowledge base, which provides you with articles you can read, community forums, where you can chat, post, and read comments. And the third option is chat with DevNet, which is basically a group chat where you chat with the DevNet community. There was one last option, which is opening a developer support ticket, but last I checked, I don't think that's available anymore. As you can see in the slide, it just mentions that tickets are no longer available for purchase. This screenshot is actually taken directly from Cisco's website. Each video in the series will end with a quiz. This quiz will focus on the DevNet resources we just discussed. Since this topic is clearly mentioned in the blueprint, you should expect to see questions on that in the exam. So let's go ahead with that. The first question, question 1, asks which DevNet resource would you use to test network device configuration? Take a moment to choose an answer. The correct answer is A, DevNet Sandbox. Sandboxes give you an easy and free way to play around with different Cisco platforms. Question 2. Which DevNet resource would you use if you were testing the sandbox for a Cisco iOS XE device but were running into problems when connecting to the device? The correct answer is C, DevNet Developer Support. As mentioned earlier, you can make use of developer support resources to either engage with the community or find articles that will help you with the problem you are facing. Question number 3. Which DevNet resource would you use if you wanted to learn more about Python programming through an interactive learning experience? Choose one. The correct answer is D, DevNet Learning Labs. The Learning Labs are a good resource if you want guided hands-on experience with the different technologies that are covered in this course. Question number 4. Which DevNet resource would you use if you wanted to find a snippet of code that connects to a Cisco Nexus switch and creates a new VLAN? Choose one. The correct answer is B, DevNet Code Exchange. Developers can share code snippet through Code Exchange, which other users can then make use of. This was it for the first video in the series. I hope you found this useful. If you liked this video, it would really help if you liked it and subscribed to the channel. I understand that this video wasn't too technical, but this was just the introduction. With the other videos, we will be diving very deep into the technical aspects of DevNet. In the next video, we will start discussing the most important topic in my opinion when it comes to network programmability, and that is Python. See you then.